morning, everybody. Well, at least good morning here. Probably afternoon for you. This video is to help you set up your first chapter, which in our textbook is called a module, your first module in your math notebook. So originally we set up kind of this whole series that has X's, and it was all the starting items of your notebook. Okay, you already did that. Most of you already got credit for it. If you didn't, make sure I see it, etc. Okay, now we're doing a new set of handouts that you're going to get in class. Okay, and it is Module 1. So if you notice, I put today's date, Module 1. All of our modules start with a vocabulary page. You'll see that in a second. And then I put the page number. Now, you can put page numbers as you glue them in. You can put page numbers as you interact with the lesson. But the dates, you don't know until we do the lesson. So notice, there's a lot of room here for dates. Just make sure you're filling it in along the way. It really helps later when you're trying to go back and be organized and get help. Okay, so just a heads up, I'm going to turn a bunch of pages. Okay, so here I am in the original setup. Okay, this is what your original setup looks like. Just turning through pages because you already did these. There's one we're going to interact with still. Now notice on the last page of your initial setup, you had a chart and you had a blank page. Some of you might have already used that blank page for opener problems. That's great. Or you might have left it blank for a new help that we're going to get along the way, because we definitely will, and they can go wherever it's good for you in your notebook. Okay, so then we turn, and here's where we start the chapter. Wherever you have two blank pages side by side. For me, this was on page 14 and 15. For you, it might be page 16 and 17. Okay, please be frugal and kind of stingy with your notebook pages so that your notebook contains as much information as possible, but the pages they don't have to be matchy-matchy with mine. That being said, one of the things we are not writing in notebooks, we are not writing your practice problems or your homework on your notebook pages. What would happen if you did is, one, you'd run through your notebook way too fast. Two, it would invalidate your notebook for being available on open notebook tests or quizzes. Okay? Open notebook is allowed as long as it's what we did in class. If it's practice work, independent practice work or homework, that cannot be in your notebook and still make it valid for an open notebook test or quiz. So that being said, I'll say it in class, I'll post it online, but please be very sure that that's what you're doing, because I want you to be able to use your notebooks as a reference point. Okay, so of any chapter, the first one is going to be vocab. We always have a vocab quiz. Okay, vocab words. We utilize it in our practice of mathematics so that the vocabulary becomes same. We're all speaking the same language. This page to the left is blank. It could be used for opener problems. Okay, it's purposely set up that way. And as we get to the next page, we'll talk about that a little more. So after this first page, turn. And again, I have a glued in page with space for example, and we'll probably do some more examples over here. Because I'm right-handed, I glue in my pages on the right and leave my left page blank. According to the left-handed people that I know, there are many of them, some of them like to glue in the page on the left and leave their right page right because it's easier for them to write on. It completely makes sense to me, but do it the way it works for you. As long as there is the glue-in page and a blank page side by side. Doesn't matter. But this blank page is used for in-class work that we do, so opener problems. We're going to do a lot of problems that don't all fit on this page, so they're going to spill onto this page. Now, On the 2-page spread, you have everything from lesson 1-1 for reference. It's all together. That's why we use the pages that we do. So it is required. So after 1-1, very logically, 1-2, again, blank page. After 1-3 or 2, we go 1-3, blank page. Notice I am gluing these in with glue, not glue stick, because glue stick, unfortunately, just isn't as durable and your pages fall out. Okay. 1-4, blank page. 1-5, blank page. 1-6, blank page. And look, now it's blank. 1-6 is the end of this module. So as you're setting up your notebook, please make sure you have all the necessary pages. Okay, it's not something we're going to stop and take care of in class when we're teaching a whole lesson. So make sure you have what you need. It's all set up, and I can't wait to see you in class. Have a great evening.